Welcome. Just enjoying the birds chirping and just that connection to the rhythm of creation and how healing that is. And just enjoying how healing nature truly is. It's a blessing. It's beautiful. Now, I've been called to expand off this message. The star, and we're pulling it in from the heavens. This deeper connection between the feminine and masculine within the Two of Cups here. And remember, we've been discussing this is how we're building this bridge. The swords and each twin carrying a sword, which is big. Each twin carrying a truth. The feminines of the negative and the masculines of the positive. We need this equation to manifest, to move forth, to heal, to expand. This has to do with our heart's electromagnetic field and our heart chakra. My counter just said 111. This has to do when the swords meet the cups, the elements of air, the sun, the positive tetrahedron meets the mother, the element of water, the negative tetrahedron. There's an expansion through the heart. We're expanding out of the mind. We're expanding out of the mind with the heart. We've restored balance to a whole new level. That's what this is about. Now, we found out yesterday when we met up that literally this has to do with justice and the restoration of balance. Now look at that. I didn't even notice yesterday. What's happening here? Look at that. And this expansion, we know what's happening in the Seven of Swords, where we're creating peace within the mind. And peace within the mind, as we create this, is connected to the Nine of Cups and wish fulfillment, wishing upon a star. We're going to get to that within a second. Now remember, this has to do with each twin meeting up with a truth. The feminine negative here and the masculine positive. And they're connected, walking this tightrope. But they've never been more connected because of their truths. Now, when the swords meet the cups, there's an activation through the heart. And we remember that this is the bridge that we're building, and it has to do with a reunification with the cup, with spirit, with the divine, with the forces of creation, the creator. And we remember that we are having a reunification with the Three of Cups and the Eight of Cups. We are moving away from our sorrows. We're moving away from the past. We're laser focusing on the present moment. This has to do with those two cups right here. The two cups and the Ace of Cups. And do you see the Ace of Cups and the connection to the feminine here? This is a deeper connection to spirit and the divine, expanding with Christ consciousness. What is called Christ consciousness, right? It's a reunification with God, the divine, the creator, whatever source energy, whatever this life force energy means to you. Because we're expanding all uniquely on our paths at different elevations. We're all bringing it back to God in our own way. So when we have this reunification here through the Two of Cups, connection to the two through the Ace, this is where it happened. We're gonna go back in time here for a minute to the things we've been talking about, because this also has to do with collapsing time, healing with time. We are being aware that we are creating the future in the present moment, and we're using the nourishment of the past. But we're going to laser focus on the present moment, because that's where we're expanding life. That's where we're creating with life. This is where we are working with source energy. Now here, the feminine, the matter, began analyzing where the matter was still bonded, where the matter is still connected here. Because the matter, the feminine, was understanding she needed to go from here to here, from here to here, at a deeper level. Because remember, this is about a deeper level of connection. But this connection is happening with spirit and the divine. It's happening through God, source energy, creation. And she analyzed, where'd she go? The Ten of Cups. Her connection to the Ten of Cups. And we remember, masculine, you have feminine within you. Feminine, you have masculine within you. We're all doing this together. We're all doing this as one. And she was laser focusing on her connection to the 2. 8 plus 2. So she understands where she's still feeling toxic. Patterns of toxicity. Patterns that are keeping us stuck, stagnant. Gotta go. To deeper levels of connection. Honoring our commitments and understanding what that means to honor our commitments. For real, from our hearts. This is different. This isn't a self-love kind of way. This is, I can honor my commitments so I can expand my self-love. And it's a deeper level to creation here and being able to create. And we move from fear to love. This is very, very powerful. And this helps to heal from corruption and restore justice, to restore balance. And remember, this is about a heart chakra activation. This is prism energy here. First of all, we have the sword, we have clarity, and that clarity is connected to our authenticity, our authentic vibration, our truth. Our chakras are lit here. We have the negative tetrahedron of water, the negative tetrahedron of the earth coming together with a positive tetrahedron of air and the positive tetrahedron of fire. Now, we got the message of, we're having this expansion here from the mind. These cards were activation cards. First breath, beginner's mind. So we're having a beginner's mind. And this means is now that we've expanded consciousness because we're acting on it, we're not just thinking of it, we're acting on it. This is emotional intelligence. We're understanding why here. Because we're healing with sadness. We're healing from sorrow. We're healing from pain. Our pain is no longer running the show. So we've elevated here from fear to happiness. And this is not telling the same story. We're not going to tell the same story. We're going to be very mindful and aware of not continuing to create our victim template. We're going to become very aware through meditation practices that we're going to tell a new story. This is a high vibe story. This is a healed story, and it's going to begin in the mind. And this has to do with group think. We got these activations together. Remember, we're spiraling. We're expanding consciousness because we have a new formula now. We have a new formula to create with. And we're healing from being caged within the mind. So this is also staying away from lower vibrational things that are happening within the element of air, gossip, and just like how we even self-talk. We're not pulling people down here. We're expanding up. And we're removing ourselves from situations where this is still happening. We're not engaging in gossip. And we're also being mindful of our connection to all of life. And how is all of life? Like, we're seeing our own situations, our love, our pain, all of it reflected back through all of life. This is a mission work thing. And you know, as starseeds and twin flames, we have this deep connection to life. And we want to see all of life expand, because this is a universal expansion. All of life is expanding together. And on mission work, we came here to evolve the human race, and literally we're saving life here on this planet. So we're gonna, in the present moment, laser focus on love and life and source energy within the present moment, and expand it while expanding us, while expanding our light. This is big. So I want to get, where am I going here? I want to see what's being created here. It does have to do with gratitude. My counter just said 1111. I know that, as I was just with gratitude. This has to do with gratitude. Remember, when we apply gratitude, acknowledgement of our blessings, we shift everything right there. And we can do that at any given moment, at any given time. We can apply gratitude. And that's usually what happens, right? It's just like, you know, we're praying for all of our challenges to be, you know, poof, be gone. But it's really, you know, most of the time, sometimes when we're learning these lessons, things get much harder. And then we heal from that, and we see, boy, we can be grateful for where we're at. And this is being humble. This is also adding a little bit of laughing it off and humor. You know, the universe has a sense of humor. So gratitude. But this has to do with gratitude. Gratitude's going to shift everything right there, okay? And the fruit of life, spheres of knowledge, the 13 spheres of knowledge. We're going to expand. Remember, the cups meet the swords. And as the cups meet the swords, the negative tetrahedron of water, the mother, and the positive tetrahedron of air, the sun, there's an expansion through the mind. It is a heart chakra activation. Okay, it's connected to rebalancing with vector equilibrium. This is the golden ratio. This is 5. This is where we become godly, because we equal the same within to without. We restore balance. This is shape-shifting energy. And we're having a activation through the heart with the heart. And this is reconnection of relationships to self and others. And that's what's happening here. Okay? When the swords meet the cups and we expand pleasure into happiness, we mature it. We're maturing the matter, the feminine, the matter, with the energy, the masculine. And we've been speaking about this now for some time, that this has to do with the devil hijacking our pleasure centers, and we are over-seeking pleasure. And this has to do with the healing of our solar plexus. Let's just get into this. This has to do with healing our solar plexus. We're going to find our personal power from within, not to without. And this allows us to heal with patterns of addiction and separation. Now, as we heal from addiction and separation, we understand that seeking pleasure from without, whether that be overeating, overconsumption, this allows us to heal, you know, from gluttony of any kind, like overeating. You know, you're smoking too much weed, you're drinking too much coffee, you're drinking too much alcohol. You're always going to something to cope without, rather with finding your personal power from within. So we're going to restore balance. So we're going to make a sacrifice of love and go without to heal with happiness, and to heal sadness with happiness. We're going to flip the script, but we're going to laser focus on working with our endocrine system, our kidneys, our adrenal glands, our energy centers. So this has to do with healing with addiction and healing, you know, the need to seek pleasure. That's how we're going to restore this balance. And that's what these twins are coming together to speak this truth. And they're going to face it as we expand from fear to love. And it's connected to Pisces season. This is where we are working with our solar plexus, with the connection to, of course, the Earth star, our root, our sacral, solar plexus, right? And heart. And we know we're expanding through the heart. This has to do with expanding into happiness. Remember, we're having a reunification. That reunification has to do with these 5 cups. And what are the 5 of cups? Sorrow, sadness. What are we healing from? We're healing from, because this reversed is sadness. Right here. And untwisting it, we're going into happiness. I know it's blurry. I apologize. So this elevation, we're healing with our lower chakras. So we need to expand. We're going to expand with the mind. Remember, we're going to expand with the mind. And that's what's going to elevate us. And we're going to make a sacrifice for love and go without. And we're going to go without creating with these patterns of separation and addiction. And we're going to create with patterns of love and unconditional love. And what this has to do with, something that's hidden is coming to light, but it's of us. And it's how to make a power move. We're going to make a power move with the masculine, with the father, with the fire. And it is going to, how we're going to create this happiness, because this happiness is connected to the sun and our inner child and us. So we're going to make this, we're going to put this thought, this is an empowered action. We've had a thought, a clear vision. Now we're going to expand it with an empowered action. This is a power move. We're unlocking this. And it has to do literally with, remember, with our connection to the sun, with growth, expansion, inner child healing. And this is where we honor the feminine with the sun. She's depicted in this sun card. This is the one I've been called to have here for a reason. Because the masculine and feminine are expanding together through the center point. But something had to go really, really, really low and really, really high. So the feminine went really, really, really low and the masculine went really, really high. And remember, we have both within us. So wherever you're on in this expansion, just honor it. Now, what happens when something goes really, really low and go really, really high? We're going to meet through the center point. We do this all the time in life. Like you see, like this is why people like taking downers with uppers. And then we just find this balance, right? We're seeing this. This is the connection to everything. We really do want to be connected to everything to feel fulfillment. But somehow we've been programmed and tricked within our mind that it's all the positive to feel this fulfillment, but it's not. It's all of it and expanding it and untwisting it, putting back in its rightful space and place with creation. As we see through this inverted artificial hack of this artificial matrix and untwist it. So here, the feminine, we're expanding. The masculine and the feminine. Oh, I want to finish this message. So this has to go. Remember, we really, really low, really, really high, coming together through the center point. This has to do, remember, with inner child healing as well. We wished upon a star for something. This is connected to our inner child and love. Into me, I see. We're seeing this. We're seeing us. We're seeing the patterns of us. And remember, something has been reflected back to us, of us, through intimacy. Somebody has been a mirror for us. Some sort of situation has been a mirror for us to see into ourselves through intimacy, patterns that are being shifted, patterns that need to be shifted, patterns that are no longer for a greater good, and we're being shown how to create with love from source energy these new healed patterns. So our inner self is going to meet our outer self, and there's going to be a meeting point through the center, and this is where this expansion happens. And how this happens is we're uncaging, we're letting go of guilt, we're going to raise our vibration. So we're going to let go of guilt, because we're going to see that everything is part of our spiritual quest. It's all this experience is part of our spiritual quest for us to find our authentic self. So that's what sets us free. We see that everything is a part of spirit and a part of creation. Remember, we've become whole. We went really, really, really low and really, really high, and we found the meeting point through the center. We're expanding. We found the meeting. Where is that card now? We found the meeting point for the center. Through the center. Where are we expanding? Through the center with the cups and the swords. Really, really, really low. Really, really, really high through the center point. We see that everything is spirit. It's all part of our spiritual quest for us to be us. We're going to let go of guilt. We're going to understand that when we do feel guilt, it's just because we don't want to continue to harm. But we've seen this lesson. We don't need it anymore. We don't need it. Let it go. And we're not going to use our guilt to feed into patterns of self-sabotaging behavior anymore. So what happens when we set ourselves free? We're literally setting our inner child free. We literally set our inner child free. And our inner child out of this cage, because remember, we're raising our vibration and we're letting go of guilt, because everything is a part of creation and spirit, and we're expanding it. We're just untwisting it. Our inner self meets our outer self. Our young self meets our matured self. There's an expansion through the center point. There's a tender embrace between these two. I see into me. Wish upon a star. Inner child. Love of love. A wish of love. I see into me this wish. I see this wish of love. I understand me. I understand patterns of myself. I understand patterns of myself that need to change for this wish to come true, because I'm a co-creator. It has to do with collapsing time and laser focusing on love through the present moment at any given time, and understanding that separation is an illusion. We're all connected in the 5D. We're all one. And that has something to do with this land of in-between and how we're expanding here. When the swords meet the cups. So, swords are meeting the cups. Let's get this activation. Oh, I'm not feeling called to go here. I'm feeling called to go here. I think this is why. I literally think this is why. Okay. I think it has to do with she who creates creativity, originality, and spontaneity. And this is when we understand we have to be authentically us. And we're going to march to the beat of our own drum. And we know that that's the way. That's the way we have to go. That's the way we have to expand. We have to march to the beat of our own drum. This is an expansion from within to without. And that's why this is like when that inner child meets us. When that inner child meets us through the center point and we expand here. when this happens, right? In the land of in between. Just get it. 2511. My counter just said 2511. We just get it. It's like, aha. I just have to be me. I just have to be me. Humbly. It's like the feminine's gone back home to the divine. That's what that Nine of Cups symbolizes. The matter went home to God, to the Creator, and is healing from abandonment, is healing from pain and betrayal, all this lower vibrational shit. Because she's gone home to God. And now the masculine will expand this expansion, and it's a deeper connection. This is a deeper connection between the feminine and masculine. That's what's being birthed, okay? That's what's being birthed in this Nine of Cups. And we know that'll be a deeper connection to love. Wherever that... This is going to be a deeper connection to love. All right. Remember, we have to see something. We have to see something. And it's connected to the Seven of Swords. So it's in this this artificial hack, of this artificial matrix, but it's going to restore justice. But we have to see through something. We have to see through a trick within the mind that's creating conflict. And we have to create peace. But we are going to see this truth, whether we like it or not. Look at that sword she's carrying. She who battles, justice, fears, commitment. There it is. And what's the energy on the bottom of the deck? The card I just said. Literally. She who creates, creativity, originality, and spontaneity. I've been thinking about this message. It's been beating in my head. With she who battles. This is lit. This is lit. All right, guys, I'm feeling called to stop here. There's going to be a part 2. I'm going to share these messages in part 2, okay? Because this is literally how we're expanding out of the mind. I'll see you there.